Welcome to those guys sports. It is your boy Mike. I just finished recording a James Harden podcast, or just a video, I should say. This is my Raptors podcast. This is my Raptors weekly podcast for the 1-3 Toronto Raptors. I'll like to say make sure you guys like and subscribe. I've seen the subscription go up. Please like and subscribe. We'll talk really soon. I have potential news in the future. Can't mention it now. Some things are getting situated, so I'm hoping I can bring some more light to the Raptors later on in life. But the Toronto Raptors are 1-3. You know, before I even go, I have to because I just read something I realized, and I said it in my Harden once. So make sure you guys watch that as well. James, the trade of James Harden for Philadelphia, they're gonna go big game hunting, and I said that. The guys I didn't mention were like Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan. Just something for people to look out for and see if they can make a move. A team that doesn't make moves is Toronto Raptors. Okay, let's just see how I just brought the Toronto Raptors back. A team that does not make any moves is Toronto Raptors. A team that is 1-3 when, let's say, probably should have been. Honestly, the first few games it could have been like 3-1. That Chicago game was winnable, and that this damn Portland game that happened was winnable. They should technically be 3-1 right now to then face Milwaukee and the 76ers back to back. And then, that would make more sense to go 3-3. I really thought the first 10 games as Raptors would be 5-5. I know a lot of Raptor fans are like, the thing with Raptor fans is I was really mad about last night's game. I was pissed. I was quite frustrated, I should say. And I started reading Twitter, and then I got in better spirits because I do think people are a little crazy, man. They get a little angry. It's 1-3. Like, it's not game 16. I've seen some people talk about Pascal's play, and I'm thinking, like, are people crazy? I saw some that Pascal was not running in transition. Pascal's been like, to me, like the second best. He's been honestly the best defensive player on the team. I'm not even gonna lie. Maybe because you can say I'm a Pascal fan, but I'm seeing Pascal play defense, and I'm like, this guy's giving all his effort on defense, all of it. He's not getting the ball offensively, so something needs to give. And I think defensively, he's easily been a very high IQ player defensively, and I think he's been great. So don't really I don't really follow what other people are saying when it comes to Pascal. I think he's been pretty good defensively, and I think he's been just great all around. So I don't know. We'll get there. We're gonna talk about Pascal. We're gonna talk about this team's 1-3 start. We're gonna talk about the offensive struggles. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. It's almost like, where do we start? Where do we start? Let's start with the loss against Portland sucks. This team hasn't scored over 100 points in the regular season, in the regular minutes. They did it over overtime against Chicago, but this team offensively is struggling. Now, the one thing I like Darko, I like his energy. I don't want to question it just yet. It's too early to question Darko, even though everyone wants to question his offense. The one thing he said, and then Jakob Poeltl said the same thing, and I'm agreeing with it. Two things are happening. I think the Raptors are trying really hard, like really, really hard, to do this offense. I think they really want to make Darko happy. I think they want to make everyone happy. They want to shed this name of selfishness. And when you try to do that, you're doing it you're doing it almost too hard that it's not working. They need to kind of come at it like, okay, we're going to do this and it's going to work and we're going to try our best with it. We're not going to overly try. I think the passing is done overly try. That's why Pascal got like, what, 6 touches the other game, or like 10 touches, whatever. Pascal, I like how aggressive he was this game. He should continue being aggressive like that. So should Scotty. That's its own conversation. But yeah, when it comes to Toronto, offensively, they're just not where we want them to be. Offensively, they're not great. And like I said, Darko and Yak said this, and I'm gonna repeat it because I agree with them. The bug that just kind of went in my mouth. That's weird. There's with their offense, they rely a lot on cutting, a lot on space, movement, and everything. You can't just like move without being aggressive. If you're gonna cut, you cut. You cut through the base, you cut through the baseline. You do a back cut, you do a back cut. You do multiple screens, you do multiple screens. You need to be aggressive with these things. You need to look like a threat when you're cutting. You can't look like a threat when you're cutting when you're jogging to the cut. You can't do a screen and make it be a lazy screen. Everything you do, commit to the move, as the Raptors aren't doing. And watching them offensively, they're not committing to the next action. They're saying, okay, the next action is okay, pass it to Dennis. Okay, Dennis gives it to Pascal or Scotty. Scotty then finds OG. OG drives in, and there's no real cutting, right? Oh, we're gonna pass it to the post. Give it to Pirtle. Pirtle really just starts the action. The more I see it, Pirtle's just starting the action. Okay, he starts the action. The ball's in his hands, and someone's gonna cut. Someone's gonna move. But there's no, there's no the word I want to use. There's there's no want to actually do it. I think, like honestly, I don't think there's a true want that the Raptors are showing. They're not being committed. Do you know when you look at this team, like their best offensive moments are is when like last game I was against Portland is when Scotty went ISO and when Pascal went ISO. Every time those two guys went ISO, the offense was much better. I know we focus so much on the half court offense and the half court offense to be better. Obviously, the transition is fine. The half court needs to be better. Now, in order for the half court to be better, I truly believe that comes down to giving Scotty the ball more and giving Pascal the ball more. As much as I like the Darko offense, sometimes I feel like your offense is really for everybody else. It's not really for the others. As much as the Lakers play triangle, triangle is also passing it to Shaquille O'Neal and letting Shaquille go to work. The triangle is also passing it to Kobe and letting Kobe go to work. Mind you, this is not Kobe and Shaq. This is not Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. But when he tried the triangle in New York, it didn't. It worked for like a couple games, and I think it worked for a season with Melo. But then it stopped working, right? Sometimes you just do what's best for your specific players, your top players, and then everything else follow. Uh, we all can want to pass the ball more, and I like the fact that Dennis he looks like a willing passer. But the one thing with the offense, again, because it's just offensive woes in general, the one thing with the offense is that it's a lot of Dennis Schroeder. And I like last game he didn't shoot as much or he didn't force the shot. I think he drives through the lane pretty well. I was listening to Samson Folk, and he had said that the thing with Schroeder driving through the lane, he's only 3% better efficiency wise than Fred VanVleet. I know probably watching it, we're thinking to ourselves, no, he's much better. And it does look that way. I'm not gonna lie, it does look that way, but it's not that much better. Just so everyone knows, it's not like a crazy, crazy, crazy way better than the way Fred VanVleet was doing it. So I do think like the ball is in Dennis's hands a little too much for me. I think the ball should be in the two guys behind me, Scotty and Pascal. I think the offense would be a lot better if they just let those two guys create. Let them create. Offensively, just let them create. I think when it's in Dennis or in Gary's hands, Gary's an ISO player too, man. He just let him do the ISO thing, honestly. Let him do his ISO thing. Let them. I almost think, and like if I can go to the next topic, which is still offensive rules, but this is almost kind of like the whole selfishness conversation that happened. If I'm honest, the selfishness was more of there's just high ego, right? I don't think it was the ball selfishness. I do think Fred was a little bit more selfish. Fred did take ill-advised shots. He could have given a little bit more confidence to his teammates to shoot the three and things like that. I also think that Fred had to shoot the three because he was your best three-point shooter, so he had to be aggressive. So I do think that that's where Fred could have been a little better. But I also think to myself, like, we talk about selfishness, but why were the Raptors willing to re-sign him? Was it to trade him later? Like, why were they willing to re-sign a player that they may have considered selfish? That doesn't make sense to me. If I'm being honest. If you believe that Fred was selfish, then why would you have re-signed him? That wouldn't make any sense to me. Now, the selfishness was all through the offensive lens, and I just think what the real problem was Nick Nurse's attitude. Honestly, the more we're seeing it, Nick Nurse's attitude and the defensive scheme just stopped working. Why is this team to me better defensively than were last year? Now I like certain moments of the defensive scheme where you are aggressive. That can be 24/7. I like this a little bit better. Pascal's been better defensively. OG has, so has Scotty. Pirtle's the only one that has been struggling, and we'll talk about Pirtle right after this. But I just think offensively, as much as I understand the Darko offense, it's this is just not it. I think when you have players, you got to go with their talent, and the talent of a Pascal and Scotty is let them have the ball, let them do their thing, let them do their thing. You want to see what you have in Scotty Barnes? Let him do his thing. Let him navigate. Let him push the tempo. Um, I think it's a tempo. Push the tempo. Get to your open shooters. There's the one play that like signifies why Pascal should always get in a low post. Pascal's gonna get double, right? Pascal averaged like darn near close to 6 assists last year. Okay, he, Pascal's gonna get double. The play was it was I think it was shorter, passed it to the post. It was Pascal. He had a smaller guy on him. He's going back. He's going back. He he does his little spin. He sees Aiton. He could try to get fouled, but he sees who's open. Pirtle's open for that easy layup. That could be your offense majority of the time. Either you have Scotty there or you have Pascal there. They should play more through the post, and the ball should go to Scotty and Pascal's hand. The thing they're playing through the post, but it's going to Jakob's hand. Then they're doing like dribble handoffs to a Dennis Schroeder or a Gary Trent, or even sometimes an OG. No. Pass to the post to your two best players. Let your two best players decide how this offensive is going to get ran. I said Pascal has tried his hardest. I really think Pascal's really trying hard. He's really trying hard to not be too aggressive. Like I think they literally told him, "Hey, Pascal, it's okay if you shoot 20 times." They had to tell him, like, it's okay if you are aggressive. We actually need you to be aggressive. We lost the game, but Pascal still be aggressive. Him and Scotty got to shoot more than anyone. Um, I think those two guys have to shoot at least 15 to 20 times a game. I think, OG's 13 to 15, Gary's 13 to 15, Dennis is about 10 to 13. Pirtle kind of gets it where he fits in, but like probably 8 to 10 shots a game as well. Like that's where the offense should be. And then everyone kind of gets it when they get it. And if you get it, shoot it. So, but when it talks about those, top 6 guys, that's what we should kind of be seeing. But yeah, I really think the offensive woes could be a little better if they play through Scotty and Pascal a lot more. I believe that's where they should go offensively. Now, we'll talk about Pirtle's struggles. Y'all guys have been great for the first 4 years. I know people are already saying, "Oh, what a horrible signing." Okay, relax, chill, just relax. Okay, just chill, just chill. It's not the best we've seen. Pirtle does need to perform a little bit better. Pirtle needs to. I think defensively he's been off a little bit. But I also believe in Enyaq. I'm not going to. I don't like throwing stones so early. The thing with Raptor fans that we all have to realize, we're just 1-3. The schedule hasn't been great for us. Mind you, we should have won the Chicago game. I do think there's some blunders that the refs take accountability for, and I do think we should have won the Portland game. Yeah, we should be 3-1. Okay, we should be 3-1. I see it. I can fully agree to it. Um, but yeah, the schedule's not getting better. Let me tell you that. Definitely not getting better when you have the fact that Philly hasn't played since Sunday and they're not going to play since Thursday, and then we have the back to back. Like that doesn't make sense. Like the schedule didn't help us there. This was a scheduled win though. We lost the scheduled win, so hopefully we can get that back with a um scheduled loss because that Philly is a scheduled loss again. Like we weren't supposed to beat Philly last game, and we're not supposed to beat Philly again. You're facing the Milwaukee Bucks. So unless Dame or Middleton probably he's not even gonna play like probably 20 minutes, but unless one of these guys are out, like what's gonna happen? The one thing I will say, the one thing I will definitely say is that um as a little offense is not good, the defense has been great. Kind of the day, we're not seeing teams like give us 120. No team really gave us like now Philly was a pretty good, but no team is beating us that like crazy offensive. Really, really not. We're competing defensively. Like I said, Pascal's been great defensively, like great. OG, great. Barnes, great. So defensively, we've been fine. You know, when Precious was playing, he was great defensively. Defensively, the team is fine. It's fine. We're playing less aggressive, and we're playing more to the strengths of our guys. So it makes me believe that this team is a lot better defensively. So I like that. I like that a lot. The next thing that I wanted to chat about when it comes to our beloved Toronto Raptors is this. Um, Malachi Flynn. I think people, it's 4 games in. And quite frankly, like I'm definitely the minority of this, very much the minority. He hasn't been that bad. Holy moly, he hasn't been that bad. People are like, do people understand that? Like, the thing is, I feel like with Malachi, this is his first time, and maybe a little bit of the bubble, maybe a little bit of the year after. But to me, it's like the first time he's generally getting minutes, and he's getting consistent minutes, and he's getting consistent like confidence. Like I think confidence is so key in basketball. I think believing in your offensive ability is so key. And yeah, people make mistakes, and that happens. But right now, this guy's been egregious. Like he hasn't. Raptor fans are just so like, come on, just chill. Like honestly, sometimes I think Raptor fans are just new. They're just new. Like you guys are new fans, honestly. So I'm gonna keep it 100. Some of y'all just new. Just new. What are we talking about? He hasn't been that bad. Like not that bad. Like he hasn't been that bad. From the games I'm watching, he's not that bad. And I just think a lot of people are like, well, he shouldn't get the minutes. No, still giving him the minutes. I really am. Unless I'm changing the starting unit, I'm still giving him the minutes. I think Malachi deserves honestly 10 to 15 games tryout. A 4 game tryout is not worth it. Just like you know what, let's even move to McDaniels. I'm not giving him a 4 game tryout and saying it's not working. The one thing I will say with McDaniels, I don't want him shooting threes anymore. I know that's what they kind of want from him. I want this guy to be an energy guy. The thing is, I still believe a lot of people call the Raptors team effort. That's what I want to see, team effort. I want to see team effort. If you have an open shot, shoot it. Always shoot the open shot. If you don't have the open shot, play aggressive. Um, get rebounds. Oh my God, offensive woes. Sure, talk about rebounding. Damn, the Raptors cannot rebound for right now. They can't rebound at all. This is where I want to see them. I want to see them rebound and then go, rebound and go. But when you're an NBA team, you got to think about it. It's hard for you to be good in both, but you got to pick. Do you want to be good off offensive rebounds or want to be good defensive rebounds? If you're good defensive rebounds, that's where you can, run and gun, run and gun, run and gun. If you're good offensive rebounds, it's because you have a post player who can get you a bucket at any time, or you have, sufficient amount of shooters. The Raptors don't have that. So I think they really try to focus on defensive rebounding to really attack. But they kind of need both, I would say. So, but McDaniels, Malachi, these guys are bench guys for a reason. We just need quality minutes from them, but it comes with time. This whole Raptors team, even Darko's system, it's time. The one thing it's honestly learning versus expectations of winning. I don't know what people expected from the Raptors. I really don't. A lot of people, the betting line was 36 wins under. So the people who expected 36 wins under, the way you're moving doesn't like this is what you want, right? You want them to lose. I think what people really want is a direction. I get that. And you can be mad at the Portland loss and still have it. You can be it's all could be one and the same. But at the end of the day, the way you gotta view it, the way you gotta see it, is that this Raptors team is a good team. I still believe this team is going to be good. I think that Portland loss kind of sucked. It doesn't deflate me. Barnes even said it that it's a game they should have won. I liked his emotion during the Chicago game. I think the offense just needs a little bit of time. You look at their touches, look at their scoring. It's all down. It's all down. So Darko is going to have to really, communicate this, 0.5 seconds offense. Everyone has to be committed to it. And you got to commit to it. It's not just we're doing this. We got to commit to it. So that means Pascal needs to cut more, or Gary needs to cut more. Grady needs to cut. All those things need to happen a little bit more. The bench needs to cut more. Things like that. The bench, all you got to do, like the one thing with that, who beat us? The Portland bench, and Malcolm Brogdon was the big culprit of it. Like, I wonder what we can get from Malcolm Brogdon. I would love Malcolm Brogdon. Honestly, good 3-point shooter, 50, 40, 90 guy, rookie of the year. Honestly, people remember rookie of the year, older guy, knows what he's doing. I would like to get someone like that on the team, especially if you want to win games. Now, this team, when you're looking at them, the bench needs to be over aggressive. So the Portland Trailblazers, their bench was just overly aggressive. They fought for every rebound. They played defensively. Like, that's what you want your second unit to be. When Precious, Boucher, Malachi, Gary, when they're on the court, Grady Dick, when they're on the court, they just got to be aggressive. They just have to be aggressive. Fight for every loose ball. Like, they just need to be better. That's why, you always miss those Kyle and bench lineups, because you just match the same energy as Kyle Lowry. So we just need to see everyone match that same energy as our best players and our best bench player at the time. Like, we need everyone to match that, be aggressive, fight. The one person who I think has been aggressive, if you had to put a players ranking, it's got to probably be a top 4 player this season so far, is Chris Boucher. I love his bench work. I think he's been very aggressive. And I think everyone needs to kind of match his same energy, if I'm being honest. If everyone can match that energy, that'd be a lot better for this team. It's just something that I think most Raptor fans want to see. I know I want to see it. So I really think the Raptors could be a lot better in their aggressiveness overall. Now, the next thing I want to talk about when it comes to the Raptors is not the Raptors fans, because I'm almost tired of talking about the Raptors fans. It's the rotation. The 5 guys you have starting, or the 5 guys you have starting, a lot of people really want to see Gary start, because one thing, I think it's the consistency of it all. Dennis Schroeder hasn't been bad at all. He hasn't been bad at all. Probably the 3rd best Raptor, if not the 2nd best Raptor. I think that's also the problem. If Dennis is the 2nd best Raptor, there's an issue. I do think Dennis has been too aggressive offensively on his own game. I'd rather see Dennis be the hub of the offense, not be the offense. I want him to be the passer. I like that. I like his aggressiveness passing. He's doing a great job passing the ball, actually, while still kind of being aggressive. But I only want him to be aggressive if he sees. I kind of like, if the offense is being really stagnant, then I'm okay with him being a little more aggressive, him trying to, go through the lane, attack, attack, attack. I'm a little bit more okay with that. But not when, like, the offense is flowing and he shoots. I don't want that. I want, once again, Pascal and Scotty to make the decisions, the ultimate decisions. And I want OG to be the finisher. I want Gary to be the finisher. And I want Dennis to also be the finisher as well. That's what I would rather see and would want to see when it comes to the Toronto Raptors as a whole. But yeah, I really think with this team, um, you know, I said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. I'm okay with Scotty being our point guard. I don't know if Dennis is going to be okay with coming off the bench. I don't think so, especially when he's been starting. He hasn't been playing bad. If he was playing bad, I don't know why I have fruits in my house. So I'm thinking, like, maybe that's why. Obviously, fruit flies. Um, Dennis Schroeder has been good. So him coming off the bench, I don't think he's going to like that. I'm not going to lie. I'm not sure he's going to like that at all. I just think for the best thing for this team, this offense, is him coming off the bench. I want to see him, and I want to see Gary off the bench too. So the 2 people I have really thought about, and I think this guy has been really good. I don't know what that's going to say for the future, but I'm okay if Grady Dick starts. I'm okay if Grady Dick starts. So it goes Barnes, Pascal, Grady Dick, OG, Pirtle. I think having an OG and a Grady Dick coming off screens, being open for threes, especially, and it's playing off Scotty and Pascal, who thus both basically be your lead ball handlers. Even though G can do some of that as well, I think that can help. What you really do is how I can see the rotations going. Okay, let's just this rotation talk. You play those five guys. Grady can be. He's played great. Obviously, the other team's gonna they're gonna go after him. They're gonna go after him defensively. Now, I do think this team is really good defensively. They're gonna go after Grady. It is what it is. That's where sometimes you gotta just make things happen. But when Gary Trent's on, they go after Grady. I mean, they go after Gary Trent. They're gonna go after whoever they feel is the weakest defensive player. That's what just happens. You know, you're hoping he can still match the energy, and he's playing with a lot of energy, playing with a lot of chaos. I think they a little bit need that right now. As much as you want him to kind of calm down a little bit, and he will eventually with more time. You kind of want him to be all over the place. Sometimes I feel like once again, it's so early, 4 games in, let's just kind of relax. But I wouldn't mind seeing Scotty Pascal handle the ball a lot more, make the decisions for the team, still play through the post where guys are cutting, OG's cutting, OG will get the ball, see if he can drive through the lane. Um, One of those guys are getting the ball. I'd rather see the DHOs instead of it going to Dennis Schroeder after you pass it to the high post. I want to see it go to Pascal. Almost, you want to play Pascal like the shooting guard? Well, let Pascal handle the ball a little bit more like the shooting guards and let him and Scotty do a lot more. I think the passing could be better there. Now, that would thus leave you with, you go Gary, Dennis, Boucher, Precious, and maybe a McDaniels. I'm okay with that. Now, I just said I want Malachi to play, but this may just kind of pushes Malachi out of the lineup unless you need him. But it makes your bench a lot better. Offensively, your starting unit could get potentially stagnant, but that's where if it gets stagnant, you Pirtle has to play a little bit away from the rim, and then you ask Scotty or Pascal to play in the post, and you're hoping they get fouled because that's what could happen. When offense gets stagnant, that's when you got to bring in a Gary and Dennis. May have to use your timeouts a little bit more often than you're used to, or more than you want to. But that's where the timeouts are needed for the coaching. That's where the coaching happens. Like, hey guys, we just got to be aggressive. Please continue to be aggressive. Pascal and Barnes just got to be aggressive. As much as I like the point of attack offense of Dennis Schroeder, I kind of like the thought of Scotty and Pascal being those point of attack guys as well. So that's something I kind of want to see with the rotation. And then you can't leave Grady Dick open. The crazy thing is you can't leave him open. Even as a rookie, you can't leave him open. If he's open, he's still gonna shoot about 40%. Shooters shoot, no matter if you're young or old. If you leave JJ Redick, if JJ Redick's on this team, you let them open, he's shooting a shot. So certain guys like that, you still want them to kind of do their thing. So I'm curious about that. I love Thad Young. I love Otto Porter. I love Garrett Temple. I think, and I like them as vets. I think vets are needed for this squad, but I think you need one vet. Garrett Temple's always the one standing up and clapping. I love Thad Young. I really do. That's my guy. Honestly, I want to see him on the team. I would have rather seen him on the team for $1 million than $8 million. Not my money. I really don't care. This team is top 10 team in Forbes, 4.1 billion. They can afford it. Why not? I just think we need like another shooter. I really think another guard shooter would be helpful. Maybe it's one of those things you have to waive one of the young guys, call up a Terrence Ross or something like that. I know Sean Woodley would love that, but it's just something I wish you can see from this team. This week is hard. This week they have Milwaukee, Philly. I believe they have a lot of teams. Like, let me just they looking at that score, the first making that score. They have this is last year's? Why did they show me this? They have the Bucks. That's probably a loss, guys. Let's be honest. Unless Giannis is not playing. But Giannis is playing. They have the 76ers. That's probably a loss. They have the Spurs. Because it's a loss because the Spurs, I mean, the Sixers haven't played since Sunday. Like, what is going on? Schedule stuff, that's just weird. But then they have the Spurs, okay? So they'll probably beat the Spurs, but then they get like some time. Then they also have time off. Then they face Boston, which I'm pretty sure Boston probably has a back-to-back. Then they have a few games off. So it's weird, right? Like, they all of a sudden get those games off that they didn't get before. Like, they play on Thursday, the next game is Sunday. That's 2 days off. Sunday, next one's Wednesday. That's 2 days off. So it's like the schedule is going to get back for them. The schedule kind of is shit right now. It's going to get back to them eventually. But yeah, I don't. They'll probably lose those games. I would love to see them go on a streak. We'll have to wait and see. But it's your boy Mike. Make sure you like and subscribe. Comment below. We'll talk again. So the Raptors are 1-3. Horrible loss to Portland. There's so much more we could talk about, but we're gonna cut it now. You guys have a good one. Peace.